Hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of Crafty Beer Reviews. As you can see, to the right of me is my lovely wife. Today is her birthday, so we thought we would celebrate with a very special beer. So, today we are reviewing High Water Campfire Stout. Now, if you guys have heard anything about this beer is supposed to taste and smell like liquid s'mores. So that is very exciting, and I gotta give a huge shout out to Joe, or Average Joe as he's known here on YouTube, or Above Average Joe, or Average Troll, or whatever you want to call him. Joe is an awesome guy. We met up with him and his dad, I guess at this point it's been a couple of weeks ago, and we did a little bit of an in-person beer trade, but yeah, he hooked me up solid with this one, so thank you, man. So yeah, this is a really cool one. I've never had anything from High Water. I've never even really heard of them, but they are using graham cracker and molasses as well as natural flavors in this, so very cool stuff. I don't know about you, but I think I'm ready to go ahead and check this out, right?
Yep.
Alright, so let's go ahead and check out the aroma. Well, the first thing I get is definitely chocolate.
Yeah,
Chocolate. It's got a little bit of this kind of dark chocolate, but I'd say it's a little bit more of that kind of sweeter milk chocolate all in all. Definitely has that roasted malt note too. It's not like, it's not charred, it's not overly burnt, but it definitely has a little bit of that. I do get a touch of that graham cracker actually.
Yeah, it's almost like a replacement for that biscuity note you get in most beers. That biscuity note.
Yeah, that's
like
Yeah, it's interesting. It really, I mean, I don't know. That's unique. I don't usually smell like, I don't think I've ever smelled anything that actually smelled like quite like graham cracker crust.
Yeah, because it's a little sweet. But at the same time, it's that crackery, bready note as well.
Also getting a little bit of this kind of toasted marshmallow. It's definitely vanilla, and there's almost like a little bit of a kind of toasted or, you know, almost kind of burnt type of note in there. And I think that mixing with the vanilla to me really does kind of emulate almost this kind of toasted marshmallow. Oh man, this smells really nice though. I mean, the more I smell it, the more I do really legitimately get that kind of just that toasted marshmallow, the big kind of chocolate, and that graham crackerness. Even just like almost a touch of like kind of some earthiness in there as well. But I don't know.
It took me like 2 sniffs before I could really get the
graham
cracker.
Yeah,
it's not real
there's more
up front.
chocolate up front, I think.
You get the chocolate, and then maybe after another sniff, you get that graham cracker. And then the third go around, you get that marshmallow. Like, the marshmallow and the graham cracker are a lot more subtle. It's very, very chocolate forward.
And definitely a little bit of roast, even maybe a touch of coffee, but I think it's pretty mild. But
I think the roastiness actually adds to the roasted marshmallow aspect of it.
Yeah.
That kind of creates that marshmallow effect.
Yeah, I agree. Well, I don't know about you, but I'm dying to try this.
Yeah, I'm all about it.
All right, guys, let's go ahead and take our first sip. That's nice.
That's very different.
Yeah. Up front, I'm actually getting a lot of that toasted marshmallow, that vanilla, like, that is really, wow, that's something. That really does legitimately taste like a liquid kind of toasted marshmallow in my mouth. It almost has a sort of, it's kind of hard to describe. I've never quite had a beer quite like this. It definitely evokes that kind of liquid s'mores a little bit. Like, I definitely get that milk chocolate. I hate to say it, but it even almost tastes like straight up Hershey chocolate. It really kind of does.
Like the Hershey's milk chocolate. And the aftertaste literally tastes like kind of a burnt marshmallow. It's like, it's insane.
Because I'm definitely getting that roasted malt note on the back end. I almost get what I feel is a little bit of like a touch of almost kind of smokiness in there, just a little bit, not a lot. You know, this is not a smoked beer, it's not a Rauch beer or anything like that, but I definitely get a little bit of that smoky quality. It definitely has a lot of bitterness, I think, on the back end, so it leaves kind of that little bit of almost like a coffee bitterness, just, you know, that roasted kind of malt note as well. And it kind of finishes with this just slight dryness, you know, that almost kind of reminds me of a campfire in a way.
Yeah.
You know, i.e. Campfire Stout, right? But yeah, this is, I gotta say, this is pretty impressive.
Yeah.
Upon first sniff, I wasn't 100% sold, but the more that this beer's kind of opened up in the glass, I'm actually pretty impressed so far.
And there's really just layers to it. Like when it first hits your tongue, you get that chocolate, and then afterwards, you really get that roasted marshmallow.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's almost like a burnt marshmallow in my mouth.
Yeah.
That flavor you get after you've finished the marshmallow. And then you get that subtle graham cracker.
Mm-hmm.
It's really just a layer of flavor.
Yeah, the graham cracker, it kind of comes on about, I think, mid-palate.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's there for a little bit. It doesn't linger on the palate, but it's definitely in there. But I think that the dominant flavors to me are definitely the roast, the chocolate, the marshmallow, kind of vanilla type of note. And then the graham crackers in there is more of a subtle note. But I still get a lot of graham cracker in the actual aroma.
Yeah.
Which I think is really fascinating. I was also going to say, it's definitely on the lighter side of medium for a body.
Oh, yeah.
So it's
Very
not
easy.
real thick or anything like that. But, I mean, it's like a touch thinner than some stouts. But it's also a little bit of lower ABV stouts. I wasn't expecting this to be, motor oil or anything. And I got to say, the mouthfeel, it's very coating, creamy, rich. It almost has that kind of melt in your mouth type of sensation that goes along with this. I don't know if that's just memories from having s'mores or what the deal is, but it's a very creamy mouth. And it's not overly sweet.
No.
Like, there's enough bitterness in here to kind of counterbalance those sweeter notes. I do get, like, a touch of caramel or maybe molasses type of sweetness.
Very light.
Like, a little bit of kind of residual type of sweetness in there. Just a touch, but it's really balanced out by that bitterness. And I think that's what's nice about this beer. It's really balanced. It has a lot of flavor. It's easy to drink. And, like you were saying, it's not going to kill your palate. Like, you could definitely have... you could have a bomber of this, I think, by yourself and your palate wouldn't be destroyed. And I like that there's a little bit of dryness because that really, instead of it being sticky or too sweet, it makes you want to keep drinking it, which I really like. But
very good dessert beer.
Yeah.
I would say one of the top ones because there's several dessert beers out there where first half of it is great. Mm-hmm. And then...
it gets too sweet.
Yeah. Example, the creme brulee.
Yeah.
That's on the tier. Delicious.
But too much.
But halfway through, you're just like, oh my god, no way you could finish up on your own. Mm-hmm. This I could finish on my own.
Yeah, agreed.
And it's just right for a dessert beer because it's not too sweet. Mm-hmm. It's not too heavy. It's like right in the middle there.
Yeah, I agree. As far as a rating, what are you thinking?
I would give it... I'm gonna give it a solid 9.
A 9?
Just because I think it's great, but there's definitely a few out there that I like a little bit more than it. Like I said, it's a great dessert beer. It's not too heavy. It's not too sweet, but I think the chocolate could be. I think I'm
a little bit more intense.
Yeah, I would like it if it was a bit more intense, but not the milk chocolate. Mm-hmm. I would like it to be a little bit more dark chocolate. I'm a huge dark chocolate fan, so obviously. But I think I'd like it a little bit more if it was a little more chocolate forward in the flavor. And maybe if I could get a little bit more of that graham cracker.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. As far as a rating for me, guys, I'm going with a 9 out of 10 as well. I really enjoy it. For me, I'd like a little bit more body. Now, it is a lighter ABV stout, so I wasn't expecting to be, over the top, but I'd like just it would be a touch... a little bit more full. The carbonation's spot on, though. It's not flat, but it's not overly kind of bubbly or anything like that. I also agree I'd like a little bit more chocolate, I think, in the actual taste, because I was getting a lot of chocolate in the nose.
Oh, yes.
But yeah, overall, I'm impressed because it nails the chocolate, it nails the graham cracker, it nails that toasted marshmallow. I never had toasted marshmallow in a beer, and I can say that this really has that. It's a unique beer. If you guys can try it, I highly, highly suggest checking it out. This is a fun beer to try. Joe, thank you for providing such a nice beer for us. This was awesome, man. Very, very cool stuff. Is there anything else you want to add to this?
I just want to say I was really surprised at how the marshmallow worked in this. Mm-hmm. I was really on the fence about how it was going to be because I wasn't sure if it was going to nail that roasted marshmallow, and it really did. I was almost concerned it was going to be too sugary. Like not so much roasted, just almost like a raw marshmallow. I guess that's what you'd say. I don't know, uncooked. I don't know, but I was almost worried you'd get that real sugary graininess, and that's what I was a little concerned about. But I mean, that roasted marshmallow was spot on. It was perfect.
Yep.
So.
Yep, I agree. Well, all right, guys, that does for this beer review. Please remember to rate, comment, and subscribe. And remember, I hope whatever you're doing involves good craft beer. See ya.